Hello, you guys. I am JL and just came through to drop a little word. I'm new to this whole YouTube thing, so bear with me. And just gonna give you some story times about me leaving my toxic nursing job after almost 10 years of being there. Yeah, I had to go because they was doing a little bit too much for my liking, and before I exploded on somebody and lose my license, I was like, let me just bow out gracefully. And that's what I did. I put my resignation in and I got up out of there. But just to give a little backstory as to why I did that, it was a lot going on. Situations had transpired where administration had changed up a little bit, maybe prior to the pandemic. And we ended up going out on, we went virtual. And yeah, so we were virtual for maybe like a year or so. And once we came back into the building, like I said, prior to, shortly before the pandemic hit, administration had switched up. So the people that were there prior to the pandemic went out, new people came in, went on the pandemic, came back. So yeah, once we came back, we were pretty much under a new situation. So I was basically the longest standing nurse in that department coming back from the pandemic. The head nurse that had came in, she was like maybe, I wouldn't say fresh out of school, but yeah, kind of fresh out. And the nurse that was there prior to, she was a bit older, more experienced, and ended up having to go out, I think, on surgery or something. So once she came back, once we were coming back, they switched her to a different location. So the young lady who came in as her replacement, you know, came in. Me, I'm the type of person, I'm chill. I'm cool with who's cool with me, you know? I don't really be paying people too much mind. I'm just cool with who's cool with me. I rock with who rock with me. So she comes in. She doesn't have a lot of experience in the area that I'm in, or I was in at the time. So she would come to me a lot. Come to me a lot. And I didn't have a problem with it. Whatever information I might have had that I could share, I shared it freely, not even thinking twice about it, because, you know, when you're confident in what you do, you don't really think twice about certain things. Maybe that's a mistake. Sometimes, like, you should be a little more leery. I don't know about maybe who you share information with, because some people are just there to extract, you know? And once they extract, they find you, now you're exposable. Now they feel like, I got all the information I need. I don't really need her around anymore because I need to be the top dog. I need to be the one that, everybody looks to. And me, I'm thinking, I'm not even thinking like that. I'm just doing my job. So that's the thing. We have to realize everybody doesn't operate from the same headspace, heart space as you may operate from. So, you know, she's coming, like I said, she's coming to me for information. Coming to me. Oh, I need you. Can you come real quick? Can you come real quick? Oh, it's an emergency. Can you come real quick? And so, I'm like, sure, what's up, So, make a long story short, couple of years go by, not even a couple of years, I'd say, as we get further into the year of coming back from the pandemic, and she's come to me on numerous occasions, excuse me, and I've helped freely, give information freely, fine, whatever. I notice, like, okay, say for instance, I may be out for a day, right? I'll come back and people will be like, yo, homegirl was like, she don't do it like this, she do it like that. Trying to insinuate that the way that I'm doing it may not be the most sanitary, or, you know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, what she's saying, I do it this way, I don't do it that way, is something that she had to come to me prior to even figure out how to do it in the first place. You see what I'm saying? She didn't even know how to do it in the first place. So for you to now come back and I'm out a day and you're like, oh yeah, I don't do it like that, I do it like this. So these were little type things I'm peeping, people is like dropping it and I'm picking it up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like starting to get a bigger picture of what I'm dealing with, right? So she was a little, she started to show this little envy, is jealous type of nature. Now, mind you, like I said, I'm not that type of person. That's the thing. When you're confident in what you're doing, it's not that you feel like you're better than anybody or anything like that. It's just that you don't really be studying what's going on with other people. You just doing your own thing. And you're not really watching other people. But just because you're not doesn't mean that they're not paying attention to you. And so that's what I started to become aware of, the fact that she was paying me a lot of attention when I wasn't really paying her too much, So that's what made me have to start paying attention, because I'm like, people was, saying little things to make me like, oh, that's how she really feel. That's how she feel. For instance, I remember there was a situation where now this is a school setting, just to make it clear, this is a school setting. There was a particular student who I had prior to, like, mind you, like I said, I've been there almost 10 years. This was an elementary school. So basically, if the kid come in at kindergarten, preschool, kindergarten, at this point, if they're like in the 3rd, 4th grade, I pretty much been there the whole time they've been coming through, right? So this particular student, I had been dealing with him like since he was probably like kindergarten, 1st grade. Now at this point he was, I believe, like 3rd or so, 4th grade, around there somewhere. And so mind you, I had been dealing with his mother with certain orders or things he may need for school for like the last past how many years before she even came into the building, right? So me and her had a decent rapport. We didn't have any issues or whatever. Once she came in, she made a big to-do about how, oh yeah, I know such and such's mom. We went to high school together. Yeah, she tried to make it like, it was a thing. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's cool. Because she always, basically trying to one up. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm keeping it moving, right? Anyway, it was a particular day where another nurse was out. He had moved on, and I wasn't really responsible for his medical needs at that point. Because we had at this point, we had maybe like 3 to 4 nurses in the building. And so at this point, he had moved on. So another nurse was responsible for his needs or what have you. And she just so happened to be on vacation at the time, so I was covering for her while she was out. So it was a particular incident that had transpired with this particular student, and I had to call the mom, right? I had to call the mom, and when I called her, she didn't pick up, so I left a message. Now, mind you, when I had left the message, I left the message in front of other people, right? So I'm gone on back. I'm doing my duties throughout the day. I check back in. I'm like, did anybody hear back from, the student's mom about the situation? Did it, and so they were like, oh yeah, she called back and she spoke with this particular nurse, right? Which was now the head nurse. And she was like, the lady was the person, or the person I'm speaking with was like, oh yeah, she spoke with such and such, which is the head nurse, the person I'm talking about. And she was like, she came here and she was saying how the student's mom had called back and told her she didn't really want to speak with you anymore because she didn't like your tone. And now, mind you, that the people that are telling me this, I left the message in front of them, so they heard the message that I left. So they were like, we were saying to ourselves, she was very pleasant when she left the message, so I don't know why the mom would say that, because you were more pleasant when you left the message than I would have been under the circumstances. So it had got to the point where homegirl was lying on me. She didn't even know that I had left the message in front of other people. I think that she thought that I had called mom and spoke with mom, or left the message from mom, like one away, like on my own, like in my own little corners or whatever, and nobody else heard me. Not knowing that I stood there and called mom in front of other people and left the message. So she blatantly lying. This is when I realized, oh, homegirl is willing to go to the lengths of lying on me. I gotta be real careful now, because if she'll just straight up lie, what else won't she do, right? So this is a lot of the little stuff I was starting to deal with. And now, mind you, like I said, I'm picking up what she putting down. And yeah. So a lot of this little stuff was going on once we came back from the pandemic. So it let me see that I was dealing with somebody who wasn't looking out for my best interest and was willing to jeopardize my license. So to the point where she was willing to tell a lie, right? So, excuse me. So I'm like, all right. But that's just one little story. I'm gonna end it there. But basically what I'm saying is, you gotta be extra careful around some people, because some people is wicked. You know what I mean? They wicked to the point where they will blatantly lie on you and not even think twice about it. So when you go into these places and these spaces, you definitely gotta be prayed up, because it's a lot of demons operating through people. And you will be surprised, because they'll be standing in your face smiling and grinning and skinning, and the whole time they willing to turn right back around and like cut you, stab you deep. And they don't have nothing about them, like no remorse, like no type of, she trying to eat, I'm trying to eat, I'm trying to feed my family. They don't care nothing about that. Like, they rather see you homeless, can't feed your kids, none of that. Like, and you don't even know these people. Like, you like, why you going so hard, ma? You don't even know me, and I don't even know you. I wasn't even paying you no mind. And on top of that, I was giving you information that you didn't even have in order for you to do your job efficiently, while you trying to tear me down. You know what I'm saying? But that's the links that people will go to. And you got to be extra careful out here, because it's crazy. We in some crazy times where people will allow certain demons, certain spirits to operate through them, and will be looking you dead in your eye, smiling in your face, and acting like they for you, and they're not really for you. What they really are is like monitoring spirits, and they'll be there trying to gather information and ask you questions, and hey girl, yeah, hey girl, hey, yeah, and the whole time be a straight up demon. So I just say all that. That's just a little story time. That's Chronicle 1. I'll be back with more stories like that, and like this. But yeah, just stay prayed up. Anytime you enter into these workspaces in these places, stay prayed up. Because if you got the light on you and you shine bright without even trying, it's people plotting on your downfall that you have done nothing to. I love you. I'm here for you. And I want to build this channel so we can have a space where we can share these type of stories and just build a village so we can have like-minded people that we can kind of rely on and bounce things off of, you know, be a listening ear for each other and just be a pillar for each other. All right, this is JL and I'm signing out. Bye.